Lac Sports Network proud to present the College Lacrosse Game of the Week. Today we are live at the Star in Frisco, Texas for an early season matchup between two nationally ranked teams. We've got number 15 Villanova taking on 5th ranked Yale as part of the 2018 Patriot Cup, a two-day event to benefit the Headstrong Foundation. Travis Eldridge and Davey Emla will be with you on the call for this one as we take a look at the two teams getting ready to get set in this one. Why don't we take a look at this goalie matchup, Davey, because it is certainly an interesting one. On one side, for Yale, for Villanova, you're looking at Nick Testa, the goalie who came in for the injured Matt Barrett a couple of weeks ago. Barrett, of course, the starting goalie, a transfer for UVA, got hurt early in that Penn State game. Testa came in, made 10 saves in relief, and he was the starter for most of last year. Will get the start again today. On the Yale side of things, a fresh face for the Bulldogs, a first-year starter in goal for Yale in number 23, Jack Starr. He won a highly contested battle here in the preseason, beating out two other goalies to earn this spot, but Coach Andy Shea super impressed with the freshman so far, saying he may be one of the best goalies he has coached. When we look at the coaching matchup of this one on the Villanova side of things, Mike Corrado entering his 12th season, 89 and 77 overall. He's led the team to 6 straight Big East tournaments. Of course, a graduate of Villanova, a 4-year starter on defense for the Wildcats in his playing days. On the Yale side, Andy Shea in his 15th season, 121 and 82, and he's been really good over the last 8 seasons. He's led the Bulldogs to 7 10-win seasons over the last 8 years. Of course, also the reigning Ivy League Coach of the Year. Luke Palmadesso for Villanova, Connor Mackey for Yale down at the face-off X, and we are getting set to go for two top 15 teams here in Texas. And a violation on Yale gives Villanova the first possession of the game. Davey, what will you be looking for with the Wildcats here early on?
I think Villanova is going to be really looking to go through their ex-attackman, Cuccinello, behind there. They're going to run a lot of motion here with the guys in front of the cage, trying to set off-ball screens, picks, and slips for each other, just trying to get those hands free. We see a lot of action here from the midfield as well with John Clue.
John Clue, the hero, a couple of weeks ago, scoring the OT game winner in that game against Penn State, get the Wildcats their first win of the season. Shot from outside from Danny Seidel, goes a little wide, but Clue there for the backup.
You see Clue picking it up from X. They're trying to invert him, get a little bit of action from X with the big little here. Want to set a strong pick, just decides not to use it.
Talk more about Clue as he's pushed down here. A tremendous score, the 6th-year graduate student here for the Wildcats. But in transition, here come the Bulldogs. Ben Reeves dodges and scores.
That's a big start for Yale. Big start for Yale.
The two-time wartime finalist gets his first goal of 2018, and Yale on the board first up 1-0.
You know, if you're Villanova, you know coming into this game, Ben Reeves is going to be a problem. And the last thing you want to do is get his confidence up by the first time touching his stick. The ball's in the back of the net. But great play by Reeves there. Just a little bit of a pump fake with his left hand, stepping inside to the middle of the field and just bearing this one low.
So the transition opportunity goes here for Yale early on. And Ben Reeves coming off a terrific season, 42 goals, 79 points last season as a junior, and the senior once again getting things going here for the Bulldogs.
It's important for Villanova's defenders to try to really play body on him. You're not going to get him with stick checks. You're just going to step around them and get his shoulder down, push through him. Really trying to stay in front of him with their body is going to be Villanova's best chance here on defense. We
talked to him yesterday, and just standing next to him, an imposing 6'2", big-bodied guy, and talking to Andy Shea this week, he said the strength program was terrific for him once he got into college.
Well, it's scary to have a guy that size, and then he says by far the fastest guy on the team as well. You know, you're putting a lot of intangibles and skill together, as well as just being such a committed guy off the field, just so impressive with the other things that he's involved in, seeing that feed in the middle.
A shot that rings off the post. John Danigelis, and a backup here for Villanova, and an opportunity to get a possession.
Huge save there for Villanova to not go down 2-0, and also getting the ball back, to look to settle down here on offense, maybe work the ball around, get their guys on the field, and take some time off the clock with the balls in their stick on their end of the field.
Here's the freshman, Kahn, wraps around, shot a little high, but the Wildcats there for the backup. And Coach Mike Corrado pretty high on Keegan Kahn as well as the freshman. Very impressed with him, earning a start here early on in his college career.
Very impressed with him, yeah. Having that lefty anchor there is huge for any attack and any team on offense. I like that action they get with the pass down, pick down. It's hard for defenses to switch when they're running full speed.
Remember, this is game 1 of the season for Yale. Don't be surprised if there's some feeling out processes for really both of these teams, but the Wildcats already have a regular season game under their belt. The pass is scooped up there by John Danigelis for Yale. He'll look to clear himself.
I think that feed was there just a half-second earlier.
Quick transition opportunity, bounce shot a little high.
Slow Blake there, running by Yale, found the trailer. Nice shot, able to back it up and settle in here for a possession.
That was our first look at Jason Alessi, a two-sport star, number 45 in white for Yale. Also a key member of Yale's Ivy League championship football team.
Just talking about the multi-sport athletes in our game yesterday with Highland Park and all the football guys down here playing football and lacrosse as well. Translates to the college level as well.
Here's Danigelis, number 4, working toward the middle. Shot saved by Testa.
Another big save by Testa. That's 2 thus far that have really saved Villanova. Now they get some transition here on the other end, looking for numbers.
Camizio crosses the field to Cuccinello, and they'll set up an offense here as they touch it into the box. Kahn slipped down for a second. Scooped up.
If I'm Coach Corrado, I really want my attackmen to settle down. All right, stop making these exchanges interesting. Use your feet, make these passes a little shorter. Let's be 100% on these passes, not leave anything up to chance.
Should be noted on this Yale offense, no Aiden Hines for the Bulldogs today. He's out with an injury, not a season-ending injury, but the sophomore star who is really one of the key defensive players for Yale, out with an injury here today. And in some trouble, John Klug gets a timeout for Villanova. The Wildcats pause things down by 1 with an offensive possession here in the first quarter. A good opportunity to talk about your Tewaaraton guys. We've already seen Ben Reeves strike first in this game, and he is certainly one of the guys that you're watching in your top 5 Tewaaraton players here.
Yeah, absolutely. We mentioned in the pregame, just Ben Reeves has been around and has built his accolades over these years at Yale. Just so impressive in so many different ways. To me, his leadership level this year is perhaps the most impressive. Just learning new skill sets each and every year, improving on his overall game. And he's also, one of the only college guys on the USA roster, the tryout process there. We had Connor Kelly, another guy who was in that tryout process for Maryland. Just really strong midfielder there, able to sling the ball, both righty and left-handed, just being a driving force for Maryland, and then was last year as well. Now with some graduation, he's going to be the focal point of that offense. And then you got you guys you hear about all the time. Trevor Baptiste out of Denver, who's just such an outstanding athlete at that face-off X with ability to play offense as well. Coach Tierney talks about him as a guy that's going to be remembered in lacrosse for generations. The names like the Gates, the Pals, Thompson, Rabel, guys that are remembered post-college, and he thinks they're going to be one of them. And then following out with Connor Fields, who's an outstanding lefty attackman up there at Albany. So creative, so dynamic, and who's a lot bigger and stronger than you would think just looking at him. And finishing out, you can't ignore that start by Justin Gutterding at Duke. And usually when a team is highly ranked consistently throughout the year, the top point scorer on that team is going to get some attention, and Gutterding certainly deserves it. He's been an outstanding lefty for Duke as well, getting it done in all facets of the game, feeding, dodging, and finishing the rock really well. So those guys are on the short list for this early season, but there's plenty of time and a lot of good lacrosse left here to be played.
Yeah, Gutterding, another 6 points to go along with 27 in his first 3 games. He's got 33 now through 4 games in the season for Duke.
That's a hot start.
A really good start for the #1 team in the country. But Ben Reeves and Yale looking to start off just as hot here at the Star in Frisco. The #5 team in the country taking on an early test for #15 Villanova.
I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Corrado drew up a play in that huddle there, try to get us settled in, try to put one on the board here for Villanova.
Clue, the speedy guy, #1 in navy blue, just 5'4".
There you go.
And the wraparound shot goes.
Strong right-handed take by Cuccinello. We talked about again in the pregame show how he's going to operate a lot of the time from behind the goal from X as a feeder, but he's showing that ability to really get to his strong hand and turn that corner and puts it past their goalie here for the Villanova's first tally.
Cuccinello coming off a 5-goal performance against Penn State. He's got the first goal for the Wildcats.
Another benefit for that goal was getting to the young goalie star early. You know, having those shots and seeing them right on top of you are always a tough way to start out your first career game.
And when you look at both of these goalies, an indoor facility here that is gorgeous in Texas, but there has to be a certain feeling out process for seeing the ball in a facility like this.
Yeah, there definitely is. I think you hear it sometimes in basketball with the three-point shooters and the glass backboards. It's the same idea here as goalies when they're dealing with different lighting, outside, inside, things like that. So the goalie that can really lock in and try to track the ball better is going to be the better one moving forward, I think.
Another violation there on Yale, the second so far, so Villanova takes over. Game tied at 1 here early. Devin McNamara, one of these other grad students for Villanova, gets inside. Star with the first save of the game for the young guy.
Able to goose that rebound out there. That could come in handy here later in the game when we see what happens this possession. Could have been a turnover, but able to goose it out to a teammate for a ground ball and another chance at a possession.
McNamara working toward the middle against this tough Yale defense. Shot sails way well high of the cage. Almost up toward that second deck up there.
That's a tough
here
one.
At the Star.
When your momentum's falling away and you're going underhand, it's tough to put that on the 6x6.
Here comes Cuccinello wrapping near side. Crowley now over to Clue. The freshman Keegan Kahn shot sails high, but Clue there for the backup once again for the Wildcats.
Kahn showing you his ability. Not only we know he's a great finisher, but the ability to carry there and gets to his right. You know, as a lefty player, that's impressive for a young freshman.
Clue as he took a pick from Kahn. And a crease violation against Villanova. Keegan saying, hey.
I was close. That's a tough call there. I've seen that go a couple different ways. It's one of those you never really know and hope it goes your way when you're in the middle of the game.
The officials for today's game, Han Wittelsberger, Lawrence Johnston, and the field judge, Chris Vahey, here at the Patriot Cup 2018. The second year that this event has been here indoors at the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, Texas. Spin move by Matt Gaudette, saved by Testa. And it's back out to the sophomore Jackson Morrow. A turnover though for Villanova. Here comes Camizio. And Villanova really dominating the possession battle so far in the early going.
They have. I was going to comment on their last possession. Even though they didn't get a goal, I thought it was very productive, and they got 2 good shots, also keeping the ball out of the Yale offensive players' sticks. And that's what they just did on defense, is what they're going to need to do the rest of the game. It looked like Yale was going to get that rebound and maybe get a second possession. Villanova able to scrap for it and get the ball up and out of their zone, giving themselves another chance to get a goal here.
McNamara back out top to Jared Nugent. Feed across to Eric Overbay, and they play catch with it around the top.
I think Villanova's really settled in here offensively this possession as well as the last one. A little hectic there to get started, making those exchanges interesting, but they're showing some poise here with the ball.
Chris Keating, the
nice defensive play.
Senior who missed all of last year due to injury, comes up with a big ground ball and a turnover, and here comes Jackson Morrill. Back to Reeves, out top shot, little high from Lucas Kotler.
Unselfish there. I thought Reeves could have pulled the trigger there, but looks to get that one more pass, giving up a good shot for a great shot. Great job by the Villanova defenders to get their sticks up and affect that shot.
Joseph Sessa dancing with it, sends it behind here to Ben Reeves. Draws the quick slide. And the cross pass feed couldn't find its way through, scooped up by Camizio.
Nice job by Villanova there, recovering off of that two-man game switch. Reeves drew both players and was able to shoot it across X there to his teammate. Villanova recovers, bumping one guy from the inside out on the backside there.
Shot saved once again by Starr. Seibel couldn't squeeze that one through, and so the first-year goalie for Yale coming up with a couple of big plays, but a transition opportunity. Keegan Kahn, the freshman, gets laid out in the middle, and he is down. Kahn able to get up as play continues here. And a transition chance for Yale. Kahn up at the other end and walking, so that's good news for the Wildcats. Maybe just the wind knocked out of him there.
Yeah, I think Coach Corrado thought it maybe was a little high and maybe a little bit late. Looked like he took a couple steps there after you let that shot go. Glad to see him pop up and be okay.
So Yale looking for another offensive set. They haven't had a ton. They're 1 goal so far in this game, coming in a transition opportunity. Remember, for this Yale team, as an Ivy League school, didn't start practice until February 1st, so only about 16 days of practice before this first game. Reeves fakes, now passes in the middle, and it couldn't find its intended recipient in Gaudet, and the turnover gives it back to the Wildcats. You may not recognize Gaudet because he cut the hair. There's no more crazy hair coming out from the back of the helmet. I'm guessing an internship or something this summer.
Yeah, that's usually what it takes to chop the lettuce off.
Still wearing number 44, but less hair underneath the helmet.
Nice job by Testa there, being decisive in the clear, being comfortable with the ball, coming out nice and far, and just making the easy pass. You know, we mentioned Yale not seeming as set on offense as you traditionally see. We talk about the early season, getting the cobwebs out. The first quarter, first half, you see a lot of more transition opportunities, transition goals as they settle in here, moving on in the game and get more comfortable playing with each other.
Dancing behind, it's McNamara. Drawing the short stick matchup with Tyler Warner, one of the best short stick defensive midfielders in the country here for this Yale team.
See a lot of that motion inside there for Villanova, a lot of picks and slips happening in front of the cage as the ball carrier has his eyes inside.
McNamara once again against Warner, sends it behind to Clue. And his pass couldn't find Cuccinello out top. Another turnover, back to Yale we go.
It's one of those ones we talk about, trying to take a couple extra steps, make those passes a little bit easier. Tough to give away turnovers like that, especially when you know this is going to be a tough, hard-fought game.
He talked to Andy Shea about the shortened preseason for the Ivy League, and he said it's okay. You just keep things simple, and you see that with some of the offensive sets here for Yale.
You do, and he also said, I'm not sure he has enough lacrosse in the bank there to go a couple months before they play a game, which I don't blame him. You know,
he was perfectly fine with the short preseason.
Right, I think they focus on taking advantage of the time they have instead of worrying about the time that they don't have, and keeping guys fresh and lively. And I think it's, you know, in my opinion as a player, it's always better to run 1 or 2 things very well instead of trying to run 6 things mediocre.
Here's Jack Tye, jump shot kicked away by Testa. A big hit there on the loose ball against Reeves, but it's Yale able to scoop up that loose ball. Reeves took a shot.
He did. Second chance opportunity here. Hands free.
Looks to make him pay. Nice save again by Testa.
Really nice save. You see how little time and space Reeves needs to get that shot off. That's really impressive coming right out of a dodge, but more impressive from Testa to match him and stay with that shot.
Already 5 saves from Nick Testa in the early going for Villanova. Certainly has looked good. He gave up 15 goals in that win over Penn State. He's looked good so far here today.
Yeah, that's huge for a goalie. New environment, new set of circumstances to come in and have a really strong first quarter. It's just going to skyrocket your confidence and your defense as a whole.
Working around far side. A shot and a score. It's McNamara, the grad student. And the Wildcats have their first lead of the game.
You can see Villanova really liking attacking from behind, from X. They feel like they see something there. And really attacking with a multitude of different players. It's not necessarily just out of one set. But we've seen a couple players now be able to turn the corner for a goal. Some have gotten saved, but that seems to be a hot area there for Villanova to attack at. You see the room for error there as a goalie is so small. Starr drops his stick just a half inch, and that's enough for that ball to get over top past the stick.
We've already seen a couple of violations against Yale here in the early going in the first quarter, but Connor Mackey able to kick those, and he wins the face-off. Quick opportunity for Yale. The pass incomplete, a big hit on Matt Gaudette, and Villanova scoops up the loose ball.
You know, that's one thing that Jake Ficarro said as well. These defenders, they're young, but they're big and physical. They'll knock you down. They're going to use their bodies to try to intimidate you and get you out of your game plan.
Owen Probilski, number 43, the freshman from Westfield, New Jersey, laying the wood on Matt Gaudette, and Villanova another opportunity here late in the first quarter.
Again, getting the ball directly to X and attacking from there.
This is Nugent. Stutter step, top of the box. Dodges down the near side alley and kicks it behind. The freshman Kahn, he had a couple of goals against Penn State in his collegiate debut a couple of weeks ago. This guy scored a couple as well. Christian Cuccinello coming off that 5-goal performance in the opener. Shot from downtown, ricochets off a Yale player, skies up into the air. Got some backspin, and Yale able to track it down. Alessi, a transition opportunity. And the midfielder will settle things down with Ben Reeves. Under 30 seconds to go in the first quarter.
And that's an early season thing too for Villanova. It's hard not to try to track that ball and stare up when it goes up in the sky like that, but you want to try to get your midfielders either to drop or start making their way to the sideline so we can get our subs on and not give up that transition.
Reeves' shot is high and no backup for
Heady
Yale.
play.
So 8 seconds to go, and Villanova a chance if they can go quickly. Good move by Gaudette to poke it free. Camizio launches, and it's intercepted by Yale, and it brings us to the end of quarter number 1. Yale struck first at a transition opportunity from Ben Reeves, but Villanova scores the last 2 goals of the first quarter, and the number 15 team in the country leads the number 5 squad 2-1 after 15 minutes. We'll be back here at the Star for the second quarter between Yale and Villanova. Welcome back here to the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, Texas. Travis Eldridge and Davey Emila alongside with you. Taking a look at Christian Cuccinello, a goal in the first quarter for Villanova. And the 15th ranked Wildcats lead the number 5 Yale Bulldogs 2-1 after 1 here at the Star. As we wait for the second quarter here, we welcome in a couple of guests here to the broadcast booth. Of course, from the Headstrong Foundation, it's hard not to know the name Cheryl Cole-Lurie after everything she's done. Also joining us, the head coach of Highland Park High School, who lost by 1 to IMG Academy here yesterday, Rich Moses. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. Pretty cool event so far.
Really cool.
Yeah, so far so good. It's great.
So Cheryl, for you made this trip last year as well. And what did it mean? I know you had a chance to talk to these teams yesterday during practices. What did it mean, and what's the message that you try to send to these teams?
Well, it's always emotional, as you can imagine. But seeing, this is our support system. So, to see the guys embrace our work, allowing us to make a difference within the cancer community has been ultimate privilege. Today actually marks the 11th anniversary of the debut of the shoelaces. So, it's just very well. There's a goal and excitement.
Lots of excitement as there's a goal there for Villanova. The Wildcats continuing to add to this lead. as Colin Crowley, the freshman, scores his 3rd goal of the season.
Yeah, really strong move by Crowley there. You see he had a great opening game against Penn State a couple weeks ago, highly touted, coming out of high school. Just a strong move, a right-to-right action, a really solid finish. You see him keep that stick right tight next to his ear. No one's able to get it, and he's able to hammer it home here for Villanova's 3rd goal.
But yeah, you mentioned the shoelaces, and we see the neon green nets. The color it certainly stands out in the lacrosse community, and it's something that you can't go to a lacrosse event and not see it.
Well, it's Nick's brotherhood, just like you predicted. So it's amazing that it's continuing. It's, the momentum is still going strong for us, and it just means a lot that he's not forgotten and that we can continue to memorialize him, if you will, and it's become an amazing legacy.
And it's really been a big week for you guys. I know you opened up your 2nd Nick's House, welcoming families here finally this week into that facility. And it's so cool. And for people that don't know, how important is it for these families to have an opportunity to have somewhere to stay when their loved ones are getting treatment?
Well, we're calling Nick's House home field advantage. So, again, we try to incorporate the game, and we give families the opportunity to be a family and to be able to exhaust, their funds are exhausted, so to be able to offer them a place where they can call home in the Philadelphia area is just been a privilege to walk alongside of the families. And now we'll offer an additional 2,555 nights a year. And, it's just amazing. We've lived this, so we understand everything that goes along with it, and we become an extension of their family during the time that they have to be separated from their home.
It's really cool, as you saw a great save there from Nick Testa against Matt Gaudette. Villanova coming back the other way with a 2-goal advantage. And Rich, I know for you, you're involved here with the Headstrong Foundation in Texas. Yes. What is the opportunity for this event to showcase the foundation mean for the organization down here?
This is fantastic. This is actually the 10th annual Patriot Cup, and we've been involved with the Headstrong Foundation for the last 4, I believe. So this is a great way for us to get the youth community exposed to the Headstrong Foundation. That's kind of our feeder system and our farm, so to speak. So it's so simple that it's so amazing that something so simple as laces can get everybody involved and get the name recognition and the brand recognition that we need.
I know Davey has his set of laces up here in the booth already, ready to go to lace up maybe his cleats for this year, Davey, as we see a shot and score another one from Colin Crowley, the freshman, with back-to-back goals here for the Wildcats to take a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, we talk about goalies settling in and getting the jitters out. Same thing for a freshman. Colin Crowley just feeling it, getting more and more confident every time he touches the ball. But Villanova is in pretty steady control of this game. I think Testa in goal for them has been the difference, really making some outstanding saves on the doorstep that can really provide your team with some momentum, both on the defensive end into the offensive end with this lead.
And Cheryl, we had Nick's brother Pat on Lac Sports Network yesterday, an interview with Chris Marshall that people can see on demand here on LSN anytime they want, but hopefully after the game here down in Texas. And I know you also welcomed the Virginia squad to Nick's house here this weekend. What was that like?
We did, yeah. Pat really did a great job of giving a tour and helping the guys to understand that why we need the support of the lacrosse community. That's key. As a matter of fact, I want to challenge Davey. He's going to lace up. I want him to pledge. I want him to pledge this season to us. Without the lacrosse community, Headstrong doesn't exist. To think that we've raised over $12 million in Nick's name and been involved with 15,000 families nationwide through a myriad of services, whether it be emotional support, financial support, and now our Nick's House physical support. It's just it's the greatest privilege, and we have big goals. We have big goals and to sustain and to continue to grow, and now it's time for people like Davey.
Yeah, come on,
step up, baby, step up to the plate.
Well, you're absolutely right. That's something that I would be interested in. You guys do such a great job, and you're correct that the lacrosse community is so special, and guys really look at it as a brotherhood. You always joke about how small it is. You can say one name here and there, and you can make a connection, but I'm absolutely want to help out the cause and something I'd be very interested in for sure.
Well, the trip to the Virginia team, what was so special was that they got to see firsthand the work, and it really tied it together nicely. It just put a bow right on top of the lace for them to be able to experience it firsthand and see what we do. I think they were pretty impressed. We got a an email from Coach Lars Tiffany today, and he said, we're in. You know, to experience it firsthand is very special.
Really special moment, and I'm sure, and I know watching you guys speak to Villanova and Yale here yesterday, all eyes and ears are on you, and it's very cool to see, and to see how the Headstrong Foundation continues to grow. For people who want to find ways to donate and help out, what can they do? Who can they contact?
Absolutely. Right through our website at headstrong.org, there's a donate button. We certainly appreciate that. Or even more importantly, getting involved through our programs, you know, Pledge a Game, Go Lime. If they just click right on Go Lime on our website, they can find ways for teams to get involved, for individuals to get involved. We have a great new program, Pledge It, where they can pledge individual statistics and really help us expand. You know, we never want to be in a position where we have to say no. You know, it's hard enough when a family comes to us asking for help. So, you know, we really appreciate that. And once again, it's headstrong.org, donate tab.
Perfect. And before we let you go, we got to talk to Rich about last night's game that you could see here on Lac Sports Network with IMG. Your Highland Park squad gave that IMG squad a lot of trouble. How cool was it for your kids to play against a really good team and here at this facility?
It was fantastic. But pre-game, we talked to the boys a little bit, and I just said, you know, they're the same as us. They're just high school guys playing lacrosse. So we talked a little bit about being family. That's one of the things we discuss all the time. The whole "we is greater than me" mantra, and our kids really bought in. We never gave up, and we played with a lot of grit. So I feel like Texas lacrosse has come a long way. We've still got some work to do, but last night was a nice little statement from the Highland Park team.
From everything I saw on social media of people that watched the game and us here in the booth, we were very impressed with what you guys brought.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much for having us here for once again for this event. This is such a cool spot, such a cool facility, and it's a great game so far. So guys, really appreciate it. Cheryl Colori from the Headstrong Foundation, Rich Moses, the head coach at Highland Park. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Travis Eldridge and Davey Emola back here, and really just awesome stuff from the Headstrong Foundation. You see a lot of lime green throughout the crowd along the sidelines, and it's really cool to have the Coloris here and everything that they've done for this event as well.
It is, you know, it's, I think she's absolutely right about the experience. The experience in person makes such a difference. You know, I think you can see the lime green nets and the laces and not fully understand the impact that they are having, and it's such a great thing that they're doing. So it's a pleasure to be able to be here and see firsthand how they're going about their business and just trying to help as many people as they can.
And we see a shot and a score here for Jack Ty. And after Villanova opened up a 3-goal lead, Yale with back-to-back goals, and the Bulldogs are back within one.
Yeah, it looks like Yale's settling in a little bit. You know, I think when you have a goalie like Testa making these incredible saves, you have a tendency to get frustrated as an offense. Shots aren't going, but they've stayed the course. They've really kept the pressure on, kept running their offense, kept the pressure on these goalies, and then eventually they're going to drop when you're doing that.
I mean, look at this shot.
A really nice shot.
You can't get much more perfect than that, right off the post and in.
Shooting coach, that's textbook right there. Stepping right at your target, coming over the top, and just finding a really small space in the goal. It's really tough for a goalie to save that.
Jack Ty's first goal of his junior season, coming off a 17-goal performance a year ago as a sophomore. And Yale able to win a face-off, and right back at you come the Bulldogs. Jackson Morrill, the sophomore, carrying with it. Changed his number from number 12 last year, now wearing number 15 in white for Yale. Joe Sessa works against the short stick. Now to Morrill. Kicks back out to Ty. The junior midi had a step. Can't find any space in the middle. And he stripped away a loose ball, but able to regain it as he works against Owen Probilski, the freshman from New Jersey, who laid a hit at the other end that certainly got some oohs and ahs here at the Ford Center. When you look at this Villanova defense, Dave, you go 6'5", 6'6", and 6'1" across this starting pole unit.
No, that's right.
Shot sales
I
high.
did do a little double take when I was checking out the the rosters here, these are some big kids, and they're young. They're very energetic, very athletic, and very physical, like we mentioned before. I know Jake Verkar was talking about how they really wanted to protect the middle of the field, and they're doing a great job of that, trying to play from the inside out, and then using their length. You know, those guys at 6'5", you have some pretty long arms in addition to your long pole already, so you're able to get some nuggets there, knocking down passes and making it really hard for an offense to do what they're trying to do.
Turnover there for Yale as Alessi took his eyes off of that one, and a clearing opportunity for John Clue and the Wildcats.
There we go. Clue in some open field, speedster.
He's not tall, but he certainly has some speed. Just 5'4", John Clue, the 6th-year grad student.
That's right, and you just got to give him credit for his toughness too. Going through those knee injuries, you know, it's so difficult to come back from one, let alone do it again the following year. I can imagine how not only physically tough that is, but mentally, you know, whenever you're injured, you feel a little bit separated from the team as you're not able to do everything that the rest of the team is doing, whether it's on the practice field or things like that. So credit to him for just hanging in there, being tough, and being a leader for these young guys now in the Villanova program.
Kahn feeds in front, and Seibel cashes in. Wildcats are back up by 2.
Great job by Villanova there, getting the ball through X to try to move the Yale defense. You know, when you keep the ball up top, the defense is able to just watch you work it and not have to change their hips or make a drop step or turn their head. So when you get it through X there and continue your possession, guys moving inside, high percentage shot coming from there in front of the crease.
This is an offense that certainly can score in bunches when you look at what they did a couple of weeks ago, putting up 17 in Happy Valley against Penn State in an overtime win.
And Seibel on attack here is one of those guys they talk about Cuccinella always looking for. They seem to have a natural way of working together.
Pretty pickup there from faceoff man Connor Mackey, and a chance for Yale to go in transition. Instead, settles things up as Morrow works goal line extended.
Uh-oh.
Sloppy pass.
Hands, yep.
And I think
Villanova
they expected for an over and back call.
Yeah.
They finally got it here, and a chance to go for the Wildcats. A loose possession there for the Bulldogs.
I think both Villanova and Yale are looking to take advantage of quick whistles, you know, especially when the ball's towards the middle of the field and guys are subbing. You want to pick that ball up with your head up and see if you can get an easy one.
Brendan Mackey in transition, shot goes wide. Keating started that break with the caused turnover there, and him coming back from injury was another thing that Coach Shea talked with us about this week. He just makes up for a lot with the amount of caused turnovers and ground balls he scoops up on that defensive side.
Yeah, as a coach, you love having that sort of safety net there on the defensive end, just able to cause turnovers and do things maybe even when things aren't going your way all the time. And credit to him, you know, taking a year off and being away from everybody and sort of out of the sport, if you will. It's sort of hard to stay connected, but you're right. Coach was talking about how easily he assimilated back into the culture, and it's been nothing but great for this team.
Jump shot from Reeves goes wide. Remember, in the Ivy League, if you're not going to play, you don't get that year of eligibility back. We saw that happen with Rob Pennell at Cornell. So he left school, decided to come back now as a senior and get his one more year to play, despite being injured last year. Sessa dancing, shot well high, but Morrill there for the easy backup.
Sessa, a couple of change of directions there, back and forth for the shot. I think Yale's going to look to get a little bit more motion and movement out of these players, and try to run some things through Reeves here.
Physical defense here from Yale so far. Kotler kicks out to Reeves. Now over to Tevlin, shot sails wide.
You want to put that one on cage, not too many chances you get to have your hands free, wide open in front of the net, just at least give it a chance, make the goalie make a save, put pressure on Testa, who has been playing well, but doesn't have the most experience.
Brian Tevlin, the first year, I call him first years at Yale, not freshmen. First year guy from Livingston, New Jersey, ranked in the top 50 of Ty Zander's freshmen this year. Maybe a few jitters in his first game as a collegiate player. Kotler stripped as he tried to find his way through, and Testa scoops it up and starts the transition.
And I think jitters are understandable, but you got to give credit to this Villanova defense so far. Just the physicality that they're bringing along with the saves that they're making, and really even mostly impressed with their ability to get the ball out of the zone first time and not have any ride backs for the Yale attack. Giving their offense a lot of chances to have the ball, also keep the ball out of Ben Reed's stick.
Freshman Keegan Kahn working far side. Found Cuccinello. He was in pretty close, but kicks it back out, keeps possession here for the Wildcats.
They're very confident with that movement inside and forcing that ball in there. Surprised Ukela didn't pull the trigger there.
One of those guys that hasn't seen many shots he doesn't like.
That's right. I can agree with him on that one.
Cuccinello, right there, he heard us from the broadcast booth. Shot sails a little wide. And a timeout here on the field as Yale wants to talk things over with just a little over 3 minutes to go in this first half. The Bulldogs down by 2. Lac Sports Network, once again the home of the CAA Game of the Week this year. The first of 16 regular season games features the defending men's conference champion Townsend Tigers taking on the Georgetown Hoyas out of the Big East on February 24th at 12 p.m. Eastern. Coming off their run to the NCAA championship weekend, the Tigers once again the favorites to take home the conference crown. Townsend and Georgetown only on LSN Saturday, February 24th. And so, Davey, as we take a look at this Yale huddle, the Bulldogs, this is their first taste of regular season action this year. They had some scrimmages, and they actually played Syracuse really well up in the Carrier Dome in the preseason. But if you are in these huddles now, down by 2 to this Villanova squad late in the first half, what are you working on in this final 3 minutes?
Well, I think you're trying to make sure that you're on the same page with both units, both your offense and your defense. Offensively, they have been playing well. They've been creating good looks and good opportunities. They just haven't put them away. Testa for Villanova has had a lot of saves. I think they've gotten a little bit stagnant at times. They're going to continue to look to keep moving, get the ball to Ben Reeves a little bit. But you got to credit Villanova. Their defense has done a great job of getting stops and getting the ball down to their offense, who has taken the time of possession to keep the ball out of Yale sticks there. So, tough play from both. At the same time, it's a 2-goal game. So I think Yale's saying, listen, we're not playing poorly. We're very much in this game. Let's stay the course. Let's get the next ground ball, all right, and try to get this thing going here.
This Wildcats defense gave up 16 goals last week, or 2 weeks ago, to Penn State. Are you surprised they've been able to keep this Yale offense in check so far?
I am, but again, I think that has a lot to do with the saves being made and just the flow of the game. But give these guys credit. Anytime that you give up that many goals in your opening game, luckily they had 2 weeks to work on it and adjust some things, and they showed that they put that practice time in to make it work, and also with a new goalie who they haven't played with very much. But Tessa's just been outstanding. Just so many point-blank saves that momentum swing is huge in these games. Yeah. Especially early season, everybody's just fired up, both Yale and Villanova. That's been the difference so far for me.
Testa with 7 saves. He's stopping 70% of the shots so far, giving up just 3 goals. A big change for this Villanova team as he stopped just 10 shots in 50 minutes a couple of weeks ago against Penn State in the opener.
And Yale calling that timeout. Usually you can see teams towards the end of a half or quarter, they'll come out in the zone, try to give a team a different look, maybe pressure out a little bit, which it seems to be what they're doing, try to get in these guys' hands, make Villanova offense a little bit more uncomfortable.
An errant pass, and that'll go.
I think they called it a shot.
Called it a shot. Interesting. Yeah,
overruled.
The referees talked to each other and wasn't even close to the cage. They'll give it to Yale. Cuccinello couldn't handle that one. An opportunity here for the Bulldogs to cut back into this Villanova lead. Nice clearing pass from the first-year goalie, Jack Starr. And Jack Ty and company set up shop here on the left side of the Ford Center field. Travis Eldridge and Davey Emla with you here on Lac Sports Network. 2 top 15 teams battling here in the 10th annual Patriot Cup in Frisco, Texas. At the Dallas Cowboys practice facility, the Ford Center here at the Star, and pretty incredible complex. The second year that the Patriot Cup has been here. Yale looking to open the season with a win, while the Wildcats looking to score their second straight top 15 upset win to start the season.
Wow.
Ben Reeves, an almost impossible angle, and the two-time Tour-Time finalist finds a way through.
That's just strength and skill right there. You know, we talk about the huddles there. Yale on defense is talking about maybe pressuring out or the adjustments they're going to make, but you also have an offensive huddle talking about what they're going to do when the ball comes down their end towards the end of the half, if they're going to go for one shot. But they said, no, let's just give it to Ben Reeves, and he's going to execute a very low angle, high difficulty shot off the jump there to get Yale their 4th goal and springboard them heading into this half.
You really can't say enough about Ben Reeves on this Yale team. The only captain, because at Yale there is only one captain per team, per their athletic department, as Villanova wins the faceoff. Quick opportunity here for the Wildcats. Palmadesso wants it. Shot backed up. And they will give it to Yale. Starr able to get back to that backup.
You know, talking to Coach Andy Shea, talks about how he doesn't even really know how good he is, Ben Reeves. So, you know, in the situations like that where they're looking for a spark, you know, that encouragement to be, hey, Ben, you are the guy. You go ahead and do your thing and get us a goal, and that's exactly what he did right there. Great to see that out of Ben Reeves. Another high opportunity.
In front, Testa able to be up to the challenge.
Just continuing to stack on the point-blank saves. That's just staying tall on the inside there. If you're Yale shooters, you've got to really focus on changing levels on the inside, maybe giving a better fake to try to get the goalie moving. But Testa has just been here answering the bell time and time again and giving Villanova another chance on offense here. You would think that they're looking to get the last shot heading into halftime.
Under a minute to go in this first half. Villanova with a 1-goal advantage against number 5 Yale.
Like they've been doing, they'll get Clue here and an invert towards X. You know, he's a midfielder, but I think I've seen him below GLE more than any attackman today. They like him with the short stick matchup with his speed and ability to change direction.
Both he and Devin McNamara, the other grad student on this Wildcats team, both pretty versatile midfielders for Villanova. Clue dodges toward the middle and kicks it back out. Now under 30 seconds to go. Clue, skip pass. And handled here. Under 10. Behind the back, couldn't get through from Clue. 5 seconds, Yale scoops it up. Transition chance for Alessi, but he doesn't recognize the time. And that will be the end of our first half. Villanova on upset watch once again. The number 15 team in the country, the Wildcats, with a 1-goal advantage over number 5 Yale by 1 here in after the first half at the Patriot Cup. They're standing by to chat with Villanova coach Mike Corrado after an impressive first half for his Wildcats squad. And I believe we have Coach Corrado on with us now. Coach, how impressed were you about the defense, able to keep this potent Yale offense pretty quiet so far?
Yeah, I thought Dick Testa did a great job in the cage for us, made a lot of big saves when we kind of broke down a little bit. But I think overall the defense is playing well. They're aggressive, and you know, happy with giving up, 4 goals at halftime.
Coach, offensively, what is going to be your message to the team? I think you guys did a great job, had a balanced attack, found some cutters on the inside. What is going to be some adjustments you're going to make on that end for the second half?
I just think turnovers. We turned the ball over way too much in that first half, and so we've got to improve our spacing. I didn't think our spacing was great, and so just kind of, you know, just a little bit more patient out there. I think we're trying to do too much too early in a possession. So a couple of those things, and hopefully we can cut down on those turnovers.
All right, Coach, we appreciate the time. Good luck in the second half.
All right, thank you.
So at halftime, our score here in Texas, Yale 4, Villanova 5. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the second half, but right now we send it back to the LSN Broadcast Center for this Lacrosse Now halftime report. Welcome back to our college lacrosse game of the week. number 5 Yale. An upset alert here in Frisco, Texas. The Wildcats of Villanova, 15th ranked team in the country, up 5-4 at the half. Travis Eldridge and Davey Emla back with you here at the Patriot Cup 2018, the 10th annual event. Taking a look at some of our first half highlights, Davey. Yale was able to strike first as we had the 2-time Tewaaraton finalist Ben Reeves in a transition opportunity. But after that goal, this Villanova offense really kind of dominated the possession.
They did, and I thought they did it with a couple of different guys really attacking from behind the cage. That seems like an area that they are very comfortable going from. But you're right about keeping wait and be patient until they found a great shot, and you can see that's why they managed to take the lead by a goal here in that first half.
Villanova at one point led by as many as 3. Yale able to work back toward the end of this second quarter. But really the story for Villanova was the defense. Despite the fact Yale scored 4 goals, Nick Testa was terrific. 8 saves in goal, and we talked about it in the beginning of this broadcast. No Matt Barrett. He was injured in that first Penn State game. The transfer from UVA who came in was supposed to be the starting goalie for the Wildcats. He's out for at least a month, but Testa really good in goal for Villanova so far. But right now standing by is Yale coach Andy Shea. Coach, what do you make of the first half, your first half of the regular season so far?
I think, I think it's been a great game. I think their guy in the goal is playing incredible. Our guy's playing with a lot of nervous energy, so we got to settle in and rely on our fundamentals.
Second half.
Yeah, I mean exactly that. You know, we gotta finish the right way. We gotta shoot the scout, and hopefully we'll start putting some more on the net.
Coach, appreciate the time. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you, guys.
Coach Andy Shea, starting his 15th season there with the Bulldogs, has had this team in the NCAA tournament. Last several seasons, lost to Syracuse last year in the opening round. A team with super high expectations, Davey, but we mentioned it. It's early. This is February lacrosse for Yale. It's the first time they played regular season game this year. And I think we saw a little bit of those jitters in this first half.
No doubt. I still have to manage my emotions before games. It's hard not to get too excited too early, especially playing at such a beautiful facility and the top. So I think Yale, that's definitely something that they spoke about at halftime, and they're going to look to settle in and play their game. I think they've been doing a good job offensively creating shots. Testa has just been matching them each and every time. So you got to stay the course and keep at it, and hopefully they start following here in the second half.
One guy on this Yale offense that's been shut down so far, Matt Gaudette, number 44 in white, shut out, no goals so far. 32 goals, was second on the team a year ago as a freshman. Maybe no hair, losing the flow was an issue as we see a face-off violation on the Wildcats. Yale scoops it up and will start. Tyler Warner triggers things for this offense to start the second half.
But you're right, it's important for guys like Gaudette to get involved, to take some of that pressure off of Ben Reeves. It's when Villanova is able just to focus on one guy, trying to take that away, you need other guys to step up and start making plays. And Yale's going to look to do that here in their first possession. How you start a second half is always very important. That sort of sets the tone for the rest of the game. So you want to make sure that there's no silly turnovers, no mistakes. Run our offense and try to get quality looks on goal here, setting the tone.
Nice move from the Bulldogs. Shot never got through. Clanked off of a Wildcats helmet. Kicks way out toward midfield. Yale keeps possession, and Jack Ty scoops it up.
It's a nice ground ball to midfield to give yourself a second possession here for Yale. That's important to start this half. I thought Villanova could have attacked that ground ball a little bit harder. You want to set the tone that you're going to play with for the rest of the game and try to make a run to win this game. Starts with those ground balls.
Cabrera pressured here with the ball.
Nice double.
The double team comes.
It's a huge ground ball here.
We've got a whistle, and they'll give it to Villanova.
Now the same thing we just spoke about for Yale is important for Villanova. That first possession, setting the tone for your half. Nice clear there by Villanova. Try to get their guys on, create opportunities.
Wildcats team was actually relatively quiet early last season. Lost to this Yale team early on. Lost to Monmouth at the beginning of last year, but came on in the middle of the year only to come to a disappointing end, losing to Providence in the semifinals of the Big East tournament. But it's a Villanova team. He's scooped up, shot a little wide.
You even hear Coach Corrado talking about his team saying, yeah, we'll be good. We'll be good down the road, and, you know, saying that there needs to be some time to get everything straight. But they're showing that they're not going to waste any time this year. Obviously, with 2 weeks ago beating Penn State and the way they've come out to start today's game has been really impressive, and they're being aggressive.
Remember, the Wildcats, while they are old, they lost 2 of their top 3 scorers. When we talk about Jake Fricaro and Jack Kern, a couple of guys who we saw in the MLL last year. As good opportunity for Kahn, but Starr makes the tough save.
It's a nice job of hugging that pipe for Starr, giving no angle for the shooter.
Yale can go in transition if they want. Skip Oral, and he'll set things up as Yale changes. But Davey, when we talk about Villanova, certainly a team that probably had higher expectations entering last season than they did this year, but an impressive win against Penn State as Lucas Kotler comes out of the box. Shot just never got through, and it goes out.
So you see Yale now playing a little bit of a games with the substitution game, trying to get an offensive-minded player for Villanova caught on the field and get him to sub late, which they did. Fortunately for Yale, the shot just got blocked there. Seen a couple of deflected shots here for both sides. Guys not afraid to put their body in front of the ball. Anything you can do to stop them from getting a goal. It's a great defensive mentality to have.
Here's Ben Reeves working from X. Wow. Bounce shot goes. A hat trick for Mr. Reeves, the senior, starting strong, and we're knotted up at 5 apiece.
No, the natural, outstanding lefty, showing his ability to get to his right hand as well. And, you know, it wasn't completely clean. The defender was on his hands. But, you know, guys like that, just goals seem to happen for them. And things seem to work out. And maybe it wasn't the cleanest shot, but he found a way to bounce that through and get past Testa there. That's dangerous when you can be that effective out of your left hand and show your versatility as well. And make teams write a big capital L and R in the scouting report. That's always dangerous.
There aren't a lot of guys that can make Ben Reeves look shorter, but he's going up against a 6'5" defender there, and Zachary Kryza, the sophomore from Katona, New York. And we mentioned this Villanova defense is long and strong, but a little too much there from Reeves, the senior.
See Kryza getting frustrated after that goal. I think he's played well, though. He's done what he's had so far. He's just got to stay the course, not get discouraged.
Reeves beats him again, but he couldn't get that lefty shot through. Tough angle, and Testa makes the stop.
That's a way to hang in there. I think he was looking back to pass there, but able to get a stick in the passing lane. Great defense.
Danny Seibel shot stopped by Starr, and we go end to end here at the Star.
I think Villanova wants to settle that ball there. Try to get a little possession instead of giving up this transition to Yale coming down the field. Find a 2-on-1. One more. Boom.
Reeves, top shelf. It's 4 for Ben. Yale's got a lead at 6-5.
It's a really nice transition play by Yale there. We talk about that's a couple different ways they got their goals in the first half, but just guys trailing and not giving up on the play, and then eventually defensive midfielders coming down and drawing a defenseman, putting him in a tough spot where the defenseman has to slide upfield to address that 2-on-1, and then you're leaving Ben Reeves on a lefty island, which is not fun for any goalie.
Nick Testa maybe said a prayer as Ben Reeves lined that one up. And so Yale leading for the first time since 1-0. Number 5 team in the country coming out with 2 straight goals to start this third quarter.
You see, we talk about on the other end there, Villanova taking that quick early shot can lead into that transition. That's something that coach is going to talk about moving forward in the year, something they can learn from.
Face-off win there for Dan Fisher. Both he and Luke Palmadesso have been splitting time throughout this afternoon. And Villanova looking to strike back now, trailing for the first time in quite a while. Remember, though, this Villanova team trailed Penn State by 5 in the second half of that opening win, the overtime win where John Clue scored the game winner a couple of weeks ago. So not a team that is unfamiliar with being down late. As John Clue works against Tyler Warner, the short stick defensive midfielder. Preseason All-American by Inside Lacrosse.
Villanova's offense is really interesting to watch. There's guys going inside, outside, always moving, always trying to make the defenders turn their head and worry about their offensive player. That can create for a lot of miscommunication and a lot of mismatches when defenders are constantly having to switch and slide from different places.
We have a whistle. I believe the referee just signals a official's timeout. As Villanova is going to keep it. And there is a timer on for the first time today. Shot clock at 28. Not something we've had to be too concerned about so far in this first 3 quarters.
No, it's not. And even when that clock comes on, you still do have 30 seconds. A lot of teams tend to panic a little bit and think that we have to get the first shot that you possibly can. But 30 seconds is still a long time. That's a shot clock in the MLL, right? So you have plenty of time to still run your offense and try to get as good a shot as possible.
They're going to reset that clock to 25. That's what the holdup was, the shot clock. With about 9 minutes to go in this third quarter. And Villanova with a little over 20 seconds to work and get a shot on cage. John Clue with the short stick draws the slide.
Warden.
And Villanova turns it over. And here comes Warner. He's got numbers for Yale. Transition opportunity, shot a little high. Good chance there for Jackson Morrill. At a career best 5 goals last year against Villanova. Early on in last season, his freshman season there with the Bulldogs. So far, Morrill with just 1 goal. Everybody really trailing Ben Reeves, who's gone off for 4 of the 6 goals so far for Yale today. Kotler feeds behind. It's Morrill, the sophomore, working with it. He's got his man caught up. Now sends back to Kotler. Wrapping near side, kicks out to Ty and draws a flag. So a free chance here for Reeves. This shot couldn't quite get in there from Sessa, but stays alive. Loose ball, still loose, shoveled forward. Good chance here for Gaudet. The backhand shot saved by Testa.
Great action, still going.
They still got it. Remember, the flag will start when Villanova is able to grab possession. Until then, a free opportunity for Yale. Kotler toward the middle. Gets the feed in front. And Villanova finally able to scoop it up. Some really good opportunities there for the Bulldogs. Yeah. Can't cash in, but they'll go on the man up for the first time today.
Yeah, flurry of action there. Started initially by a kick out to Ben Reeves, who's up top, and you see he pulls back like he's going to shoot and then rips a feed at the last second to an attackman standing right on the crease. That's just so high skilled. He's really talented, and it's so difficult when you don't really know what he's going to do, playing so fast, eyes always up, strong IQ, and that led to a flurry of action there. And another great save by Testa on the doorstep, and guys fighting for ground balls. You want to see Villanova. It's tough. Even when there is a flag down, you still want your defenders to try to clear out that middle and not allow any rebound goals.
We currently have 2 guys in the box here for Villanova.
So 2 penalties here. Villanova is probably going to get in a box formation here, try to get their sticks in passing lanes and stay very nice and tight. Looks like they're setting up either in a diamond or a box, and then Yale, knowing that they're 2 men up, are going to try and work the ball and just win this possession with your spacing. Get the defense moving, accurate with our passes, and step in and find a great shot.
So a couple of guys there in the box, including Owen Prabilski, the freshman there for Villanova. So a 6-on-4 advantage for the Bulldogs, looking to extend this lead.
Backside.
Skip pass, the bounce shot goes. Oh, that was pretty. Matt Gaudette on the board for the first time this season, and Yale's got their first two-goal lead of the game.
Yeah, nice little man up there by Yale. Starting with 2 guys on the crease. They get a little wheel action with the bottom right carry, roll off, throwback, and then playing from there. I think they've done that a couple times in practice, because Ben Reeves, as soon as he called it, was looking right to that backside pipe, able to connect on that feed through the defense for a little tap-in shot there, but really well executed by Yale. They left a 3-on-2 on the backside, which makes it difficult for Villanova to cover.
Gaudette, one of those guys you can certainly call a crease rat with his ability to finish there along the crease. One of the most efficient shooters in the country, ranked 4th in the nation in shot percentage a year ago.
Here's a chance now for Yale to build some momentum, just get an extra man goal, another face-off win, see what they have in early offense.
Reeves found that to get through to Gaudette, the skip pass, and a turnover here.
I like that aggressive play, though.
Whistle gives it to the
Coming back the other way.
Wildcats, and here we go. They touch things in, and they'll set up the 6-on-6 offense. The Wildcats trailing by 2 for the first time this afternoon here in Frisco, Texas.
Right, and just the opposite of what Yale wants to do. Villanova wants to settle in here, take back a little bit more control of this game, and not let Yale get this lead to 3.
Jared Nugent, the midfielder from Port Jefferson Station, New York. St. Anthony's High School works with it, and now around to the freshman Keegan Kahn.
Ooh.
Cuccinello working against Chris Fake.
Top
Beats
side.
his man, and Cuccinello's back on the board. Yale's leads down to 1.
Cuccinello showing you his versatility as well, going to his left hand. Again, we continue this theme of Villanova wanting to attack from X, from behind. They like those guys back there handling the ball and setting good, solid screens. Right, if you're Yale, you got to communicate really early there and either get a switch or try to get through. That communication doesn't happen. And Cuccinello is up with his hands free, able to bury that shot. Nice, strong move there.
Remember, as we talked about in the first half, no Aiden Hines on defense for Yale. The sophomore defender as a freshman was taking some of the best assignments.
Right.
You have to imagine he would be a guy seeing
think,
Cuccinello today. He's out with an injury, not a season-ending injury, but is not dressed for this game. Certainly something that Yale will look to get him back toward the next couple of weeks. Another face-off win there for Connor Mackey of the Bulldogs, and Yale gets it to Tyler Warner and looks to touch it in the box here. Mackey 10 for 16 so far today. The freshman Tevlin dodges and sends it behind. Around to Ben Reeves. Shot saved by Testa. I don't even know if he saw it, but he got his stick up for it.
He made the right step to the ball. That's right.
And it's another save. Save number 11 for Nick Testa in goal for Villanova.
Still encouraging out of Ben Reeves, though. You know, he's not holding anything back. He's being very aggressive. You wonder if coach said anything to him at halftime, like, listen, man, let's get those jitters. Those are done. Just play your game this second half. Don't hesitate. He's not. With the shooting, with the feeds, he's letting that ball fly, and it's a joy to watch play.
The freshman Colin Crowley working with it for Villanova. He's got a couple of goals so far in his second career game. Scored 2 as well against Penn State in the opener. Now Clue, so fast with the dodge. His shot sails wide as he takes a big hit.
Clue's doing a great job of getting separation and drawing that slide with his quickness. I know they'd like to get a little bit better looks out of those. Maybe move it again to the backside and try to find an open shooter.
Crowley again from the top.
See this pass down, pick down. Again, picks it X. And that one gets called for moving.
Moving screen turns it over, and Yale will take over once again. Under 4 minutes to go here at the Patriot Cup 2018 in Frisco, Texas. We're at the Ford Center at the start. Travis Eldridge, Davey Emila with you. Number 15, Villanova taking on number 5, Yale. Wildcats led by 1 at the half, but the Bulldogs have been good here in the third quarter, currently holding a 1-goal advantage of the 15th ranked team in the country. Ben Reeves has been terrific so far. 4 goals and an assist to start his senior year with the Bulldogs in white. Skip pass out to Reeves. Use the big body. Skip pass over to Ty, and he cashes in. Another assist for Ben Reeves. And Yale's got a 2-goal advantage once again at 8-6 as Reeves got into it a little bit with John Clue.
I think Reeves is letting him know about it. He said, I don't care how old you are, I'm here to make plays. Now, that's a really nice possession there by Yale. It seems they're moving Reeves up in that top center position a little bit where they're skipping it to him and he's able to make plays out of there, handling some pressure from Clue, just sitting on his shoulder there, able to make one more pass, and that's just straight high-to-high heat coming in there.
Ty with his 2nd goal this afternoon. Ben Reeves' 2nd assist, 6 points for the 2-time Tewaaraton finalist. A guy that you believe is really a guy to expect to be back in D.C. for the Tewaaraton Award ceremony come June.
I do. I think he's that talented and has just proven that over his time at Yale and just continues to get better. And you know what? I like seeing that out of him, that little fiery.
It's not something we've seen a lot from Ben Reeves.
So. And you know, the narrative usually is sort of everything he has going on outside of lacrosse with his how smart he is and science projects and things like that. And he's so impressive that way. And then shows you a little bit of his fiery side. Hey, we're in a tight game here in the opener, and I'm not holding anything back. So love seeing that not only out of him but a captain. Just setting the tone for his team is really great.
The guy who was chirping at John Clue, all 5'4", carrying with it now. We had a chance to catch up with both those guys, and both really good kids. John Clue in his 6th year, going for his master's degree now at Villanova. Really both very intelligent players as well as good guys on the field as well. The bounce shot kicked away there from Starr. The back up, and the referees keep it with Villanova.
I think that's a good call. You want to give it to the guy that dives sometimes, but I think the correct call was made as we turn and go the other way.
The over and back gives it right back to Reeves and company. Skip pass across, couldn't find Morrill. Maybe a little ambitious. Reeves is feeling pretty good with 6 points so far, but that one is a turnover.
He is, and that pass was with his right hand too. Strong lefty, not afraid to throw that pass in there, try to put it on a very small spot for that play to work out.
Minute 30 to go in this third quarter.
And that's the play too, and Ben Reeves, I'm sure, knows he's not going to throw that with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, in a 1-goal game, but this is the time to try to make plays and get out in front of your opponent here in the third quarter.
Villanova could really use a goal here. Yale has outscored the Wildcats 4-1 in this third quarter. Villanova going from a 1-goal lead to a 2-goal deficit as we head down the stretch.
See Clue here respond down at the other end.
Certainly have veteran leaders on this Wildcats team, a 6th year and a 5th year. John Clue in number 1 and Devin McNamara number 4 in that midfield. Cuccinello, a senior as well, working with it behind the cage. And the shot clock is on, so 30 seconds for Villanova. Clue stutters, spins, just looking for any opening. He can't find it. Now 15 on the shot clock.
Villanova, they've had some success going from X. I think they really got to find a guy who's going to beat their short stick to create some separation. They got bailed out,
a loose ball and a flag. And so Villanova will go on the man up here with 9 seconds to go in this third quarter.
Big man up here for Villanova. You always want to rely on your extra man unit as a group that can execute and get you a goal when you need it, especially in a big game, pressure situations. You know, these are your 6 best scorers out here on the field. Let's see if they can get it done for Villanova and pull them within 1 in this game. That has seemed to swing a little bit momentum-wise in favor of Yale. This would be big.
The first year Chris Fake takes the penalty for Yale. First year guy from Allentown, New Jersey. Villanova will hold on to it, so they'll start the 4th quarter with a man advantage, but down by 2. A big 3rd quarter for Yale, going from down 1 at the half to up by 2 entering the final 15 minutes. We'll have the 4th quarter for you from the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, Texas. Number 5, Yale, looking to close out the Wildcats. Does Villanova have another 4th quarter run in them? We'll find out when we come back here on LSN. The reigning Ivy League Player of the Year, Ben Reeves, putting Yale on his back here in the 2nd half. The Bulldogs using a 4-1 run, including a couple of goals from Ben Reeves in the 3rd. He's got 4 goals and 2 assists, and he's got Yale up by 2 against number 15 Villanova. What's been so impressive to you about him, Davey?
Reeves was big time in the 3rd quarter, not just his goals and assists, but the way that he's setting the tempo for his team. He's not holding anything back. He's jawing a little bit after he's making plays. He's being aggressive, and it's a great way for Yale to really pick up their momentum and get settled in here in their first game of the season.
But Villanova starts this 4th quarter with a man-up opportunity. It's killed off as it's released,
Nice
but Seibel able to cash in. So not a man-up goal, but it happened before Yale was able to get that 6th guy on. And the Wildcats get this lead back down to 1.
Yeah, nice man-up opportunity. A lot of times when that last defender, or the 6th defender to make it even, is coming in, you can lose your rotation a little bit, lose your shape. You want to make sure that you're not changing until he gets fully in the zone, leaving that top shooter a little bit open, hands-free, is able to drop one low to low here past Star.
Danny Seibel had 3 points, 2 goals and an assist against Penn State. After scoring 26 goals a year ago, the senior from Wakefield, Massachusetts, has Villanova right back in this thing. We talked about it a little bit, Davey. This is a Villanova team that trailed by 5 in that 4th quarter against Penn State in the opener. No shortage of confidence despite being down against a good team.
No, Villanova's not going anywhere. That's just in their DNA, to continue to fight, continue to grind it out, and they're doing a great job of it. I think they're going to continue to look to possess the ball on offense, which they have been doing, but look to get a little bit more separation with their short stick dodging these D middies here. We want to make sure we can draw a slide and get that ball moving through X, so it's not just one-dimensional on offense.
Another face-off win from Dan Fisher here for the Wildcats. Both he and Luke Palmadesso have been splitting time. Fisher taking a few more face-offs for this Villanova team as they look to get this game back even.
You know, it's great to see a lot of this game has been played out of the 6-on-6. Teams are taking the time to get set in their formations and try to play good lacrosse. Not too much up and down sloppy play have we seen so far.
Eric Overbay drawing the assignment from Chris Fake. Now sent behind. Cuccinello's got a short stick.
They like that matchup with him attacking from X. Going to try to draw a slide. Get a guy to step in. Hasn't lost that matchup, so they can get it back to him if they need. That's why they dodge on short sticks instead of poles.
And scooped up there by Chris Keating. His 3rd in the nation and caused turnovers per game a couple of seasons ago. Makes a great turnover there. Shot goes a little wide, but Yale keeps possession. Keating missed off last season with that knee injury. But back here in Coach Andy Shea said he's better than ever in how he's come back here for his senior season.
Yeah, that's good for him. That just takeaway check, able to stay on that double team. If you're Villanova, you probably want to step away and get that ball back to Cuccinello to attack the short stick again. On Yale's side now as a result.
And if there is any question if Ben Reeves is going to touch the ball in this possession, I don't think there should be one. Jack Ty swings it over.
You're right, Travis, but what Yale does is a great job of just getting the ball to Reeves within their offense. It's not, let's pull him out, isolate, and just go. They do a good job of motioning and moving that ball, and then he naturally gets the ball in spots where he can just make really good plays, get into the middle of the field, putting his skill set to work.
The sophomore Merle spins away, but he can't lose his defender, Matthew Webster. And we got the shot clock on for Yale for the first time this afternoon. Gaudet spins in traffic, gets triple teamed, and the loose ball scooped up by Camizio.
It's nice defense by Yale. As a defender, when that attackman is getting to the island, you're trained to try to turn him under and make him do that roll inside so that cross crease slide can come right in the attackman's face, and that's exactly what happened. Able to put that ball on the ground. Villanova looking to get up and out of their zone without too much trouble.
Here comes Clue.
Clue able to slide in those small little openings.
I mean, turnover there. Keegan Kahn couldn't handle that one. But Clue, when you look at what he does in the midfield, has gone both ways. Is one of the guys they go to in that clearing situation. He runs all over the field. I would love to see his step number if he had a Fitbit on.
No, he definitely does, and he's huge for them. Obviously, want to connect on that pass, but like you said, he's been running up and down the field so much. It's easy to get winded and not focus on those small little exchanges, but those are the things that become so big in these fourth quarter one-goal games. Every time the ball's in your offensive end, you want to make the most out of it. No wasted possessions, as we like to say.
Here comes Morrill. Guarded tightly by Webster.
Yale's going to have one if they got it, if they want it.
Chance in the substitution game. Kotler swung it over, but it couldn't be handled. And Ty recontrols.
It's a good job by Villanova's defense, guys helping in to take away that advantage that they had. Able to match up, now play 6-on-6.
And a flag flies. And it's going to be another man-up opportunity here for Yale.
Those are tough plays as a defense, because the slide has come and the check has been made. The offensive player really can't do much, but that extra little push that comes and knocks him to the ground is able to get that penalty called and give Yale an extra man opportunity here to try to go up 2 goals. Last time Yale was man up, they were 2 men up, did a nice little righty wheel with a guy rolling off the crease to make Villanova's man-down defense rotate. We try to do a similar thing here.
So man-up opportunity here for the Bulldogs.
Starting in a 3-3, gotten some movement now.
Skip pass out top is scooped away here by Probilski. But Yale able to scoop up the ground ball and keep possession.
Cross there.
Feed down low. That's just too easy for Lucas Kotler. The Bulldogs cash in on the man up, and they go back up by 2.
Another assist for Reeves there. Anytime there's a scramble in a man-up, man-down situation, if you're Villanova, you got to really make sure you're checking back into the hole, not give up anything easy there. All Yale had to do was get that ball to their end, find the open man, find the 2-on-1, finish on the crease to go up 2 goals here.
And it's one of those situations that Villanova caused a turnover, couldn't quite control it, and all of a sudden they're coming right back at you, and it's an unsettled situation.
That's something that Coach Corrado's going to check on the film on Monday, just to see something that they can learn from. You can't allow these guys to have multiple opportunities in a tight game like this with guys like Reeves on the other side looking to score.
Another face-off win here by Fisher. He's been pretty good after Connor Mackey really was strong, especially for the first 3 quarters for Yale. And so a little change of pace here for Villanova, and Fisher gives them the possession, the freshman from West Deptford, New Jersey.
It's great to see time of possession dictated by actual 6-on-6 lacrosse instead of who's just winning more face-offs. It's been pretty even in that area of the field, and left it up to the 6-on-6 defenses and offenses here for both Yale and Villanova.
Really different from the first half, where Villanova seemed, especially for the first quarter and a half or so, really seemed to dominate possession.
Yes, they did. They were very, very patient with their offense, which I know Coach has said something they want to continue to do at halftime. Just find a great shot, not just a good shot. Keep taking care of the ball and limit mistakes.
Keegan Kahn kicks out for McNamara.
As we keep mentioning, I think it's important for Villanova to try to win these matchups here with these short sticks and make Yale's defenders slide off of their attackmen.
Villanova looking for a fake flip. Yale not fooled. McNamara's shot sails high. Great effort there from Chris Fake.
He almost had it there, I thought.
Come from the Hun School of Princeton. Under Armour American last season. Originally was committed to the University of Virginia, but picked Yale instead. All the way across the field, Villanova resets on the far side with Jared Nugent.
There we go, that's the way to draw a slide.
Cuccinello in the middle, off the post, Starr gets lucky. And he corrals it in and starts the transition for Yale.
I think if you're here, you're pushing this transition, but we're seeing that nothing is there, and you're going to be smart in this offensive possession. Take a little bit more time off the clock and end the possession with a goal in the back of the net to try to make this a 3-goal game, you know, in the fourth quarter, getting down to it.
Under 7:30 to go here at the Patriot Cup between number 5 Yale and number 15 Villanova. Travis Eldridge and Davey Emla on the call here on Lac Sports Network. The second year the Patriot Cup has been played here indoors at the Ford Center at the Star, the home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Got him again.
Another transition opportunity for Jack Ty in the substitution game. Shot maybe a little piece by Testa, and it's kicked over the cage.
Nicely done, though. It may be Yale's first game, but they've been practicing that substitution game, it seems. Guys on alert, creating matchups.
Reeves' pass couldn't be handled. Gaudet tried to bat that one in, but Testa right there to corral it.
Important for Villanova to take care of this ball here. Clear it and possess it.
So an opportunity once again to get this game back within 1. Villanova looking to get to 2-0 on the season, coming off that upset win a couple of weeks ago at Penn State over the then 12th ranked Nittany Lions. Yale looking to start the season with a win over a ranked opponent. Wildcats ranked 15th in the country entering this week.
Good time here, a little 2-man game action with a pick. I think Villanova likes Crowley with a short stick, go away from him.
He's been good today, a couple of goals for the freshman.
Been a spark.
Klug keeping that motor running. Seems like he just never stops moving.
No, he doesn't. He continues to change direction over and over again. They got to be a little bit careful there when they're running those 2-man games against 2 long poles to set good picks. If they're missing these picks, they're not going to be able to fly.
Shot clock on, and Seibel bounces one past Starr. The Wildcats are back within 1, under 6 minutes to go.
I know we mentioned Yale wanted to take some time off the clock and get a goal, but Villanova decided to do it instead. That was a great possession by them. Again, just being patient. That's something that Coach Corrado was talking about at halftime, finding those good shots, those great shots. Klug attacking from that corner there, able to get the assist. Seems like it may have hit off the Star, may have gotten a piece of it heading into the cage, but nonetheless, it's in the back of the net. We have a 1-goal game.
Got the 6th-year grad student throwing it to the 4th-year senior in Klug to Seibel. And Seibel's 3rd goal of this game. He's got the Wildcats back in it. Something to reiterate, remember, they were down by 5 against Penn State in the 4th quarter, came back, forced overtime, and won that one about a minute in with the John Klug goal against the 12th-ranked Nittany Lions. Another face-off win, a tough ground ball battle won by the Wildcats, and they'll try to clear as Testa corrals it back toward his own 20.
You know, watching 91, Camizio, he's another guy that Jay Fricaro talked about being extremely high on, saying he's might be the best short stick D-midi in the country. Watching him just operate, a lot of those things go overlooked. All right, but Yale was gonna win that face-off ground ball, and he came from behind, stripped it, and got the ground ball by himself.
Cuccinello, though, lost a low pass, couldn't find the ball, and back comes Danigelis. That's a big ground ball battle for Yale to win there.
It is. It is. Every possession now extremely important.
We tick toward 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter here at the Patriot Cup. Number 5 Yale looking to hold on against the 15th ranked Wildcats. Kotler kicks it around to Tevlin. Now Ben Reeves, the All-American, pretty content. And you have to imagine, as Ty takes a shot wide, you have to imagine they're pretty content to make the officials put on a shot clock.
I would think so. I would think so. I think they're confident in their ability to handle the ball, as well as when the shot clock's on, to execute something and try to get a goal here. So they're going to take their time, be methodical. Unless something's there, they'll take it.
Morrill shot sails high. The backup by Villanova. And that gets the sideline all sorts of riled up. A big play for the Wildcats.
Heads up. Not done yet, though. Got to make sure they take care of it and clear it here.
Villanova able to scoop it over. Donovan gets over the midfield stripe. And Seibel and Cuccinello finally get this thing in, and a timeout here on the field. Villanova wants to pause it. Well, Villanova fans, the Wildcats return here to Lac Sports Network again on Saturday, March 3rd, when they travel to Delaware to take on the Blue Hens and their new head coach, Ben DeLuca. It's part of our CAA Game of the Week. Villanova and Delaware live on LSN Saturday, March 3rd at 1 p.m. Eastern, only here on LSN. This Wildcats team, ranked 15th in the country, entered this season right on the fringe of that top 20, getting some votes in the Inside Lacrosse media poll. The win over then ranked 12th ranked Penn State in the opener at Penn State, one that jumped this team into the rankings. And hey, with 3 minutes to go, down by 1 against the top 5 team, they've got an opportunity here this afternoon.
They definitely do. And you know, as a new season, you never really know. You never really know what kind of group you're going to get. That will make those preseason rankings always difficult to come up with. But you know, I know both coaches right now obviously want to end this game well and go home with a win. But I think both coaches down the road are going to be extremely happy with getting this type of game in early for their guys. A tight game in the fourth quarter. These guys can learn a lot. This experience is going to be valuable for both teams moving forward.
One of the big players here for Villanova in this stretch run has been Danny Seibel. Had 3 points in the win over Penn State in the opener. He's got 3 goals here today, and he's one of those sharpshooters for the Wildcats.
Absolutely, and it's good for Cuccinello to have a guy that he's always looking for, and a guy that if you get him the ball, he's going to can this shot, and that gives everybody on his team confidence to throw that ball into him, and you see why today.
The leading scorer here for the Wildcats this afternoon as they have the ball, 3 minutes to go.
They like
down
this
by
matchup.
1 against Yale. Cuccinello's got the short stick of Lessie on him. The 2-sport star for the Bulldogs.
Switched off
and
there.
they were able to switch.
Talking about poison execution here for Villanova. I've always been a big believer, not exactly what you're drawing up, it's how well you execute what you're trying to run.
Spin move by the freshman Kahn. I don't know if
Somebody
it got through.
Second chance.
But Villanova still
That's
keeps.
huge. Handle that pressure, good.
Here's Cuccinello. Overbay wants a run. Another freshman in Kahn. Tangled up, gets it, bounce, and they score!
The freshman.
Colin Crowley, the freshman, coming up big. We're knotted up with 2 minutes to go.
That's an outstanding finish there by Crowley. The freshman stepping up big, but you got to look at the feed to get him the ball initially. Driving from X, tangled up, defenders, 2 defenders in your hands, and able just to flip that ball up there to Crowley for the big time finish. Ball eventually gets there, boom.
A couple of freshmen connecting for the Wildcats. Keegan Khan just enough on that one. Colin Crowley puts it home.
We knew this Villanova team had no quit, and they're just reinforcing that today.
The type of confidence a comeback win in your opener against the Penn State team that's supposed to be that good has to be just sky high.
I think so too, but I think, you know, the Villanova team have been approaching every game with the correct mindset. You know, they knew they had to replace some guys this year. They knew they had lost their goalie for this game. And, you know, they're just embracing each and every challenge and going with the guys they have and trying to stick to their systems and build on what they've been building since they got back from winter break for their spring season.
So the faceoff violation by Connor Mackey gives Villanova an opportunity to take a lead right back. Here comes Klugh. 1:24 to go. It'll be interesting to see if a shot clock gets put on here as Klugh gets run over, setting a screen.
Yep, Villanova sticking with that offense they've been going with. Turn the corner there.
Wraparound shot is wide from McNamara, but it's backed up there by the freshman Keegan Khan.
You see all these picks and switches and things that Villanova's doing. You see the Yale defense really having to communicate, point out to each other who's guarding who. It's easy to get lost there in the flow of things. Villanova now looking to attack on a short stick from X. Theme we've seen all game.
Here comes Khan, the freshman, saved by Starr.
They say one more step to greatness. Increase your angle with every step there. Easy for the goalie to stick on the pipe and make that save.
Under 45 seconds now for Yale.
Big time save. See if Yale wants to play or call a timeout here.
Let's go, Yale!
Morrill, and now the All-American Ben Reeves. We've got a flag flying.
Offsides.
And an offsides on Yale. Huge mental error for the Bulldogs. To see if they put any more time back on the clock here. 28 seconds currently. The referees are going to talk things over with Andy Shea.
One of the things we said with Coach Shea at halftime, trying to control what you can control, not doing anything to shoot yourself in the foot or make it harder on your own team.
So offsides on Yale. Wildcats will take over possession. 28 seconds to go here in a timeout. If you're Villanova, I mean, from what we know Cuccinello is a great creator, but he's been shut down a little bit in the second half. We saw the freshman do something. Who are you trying to find a spot for here if you're Coach Mike Corrado?
For me, I'm looking at the freshman Crowley. He's had a big game today, showing that he's not afraid of the big moments, and I think a great way to go about it would be put the ball on Cuccinello's stick at X, maybe do a little bit of window dressing and get those defenders up top to sink down, and then get a skip pass up top to Crowley and let him dodge. Whether he has a short stick or a long stick, you can bring a pick to him, but I think he's at his best when he's getting a good head of steam, downhill, strong, over-the-hand shot here.
So resetting the situation for you here in Texas. The Patriot Cup, number 5 Yale, opening the season here at this neutral site game against 15th ranked Villanova. The Wildcats coming off a win in their season opener against Penn State a couple of weeks ago. Both these teams have really felt each other out. Villanova, a great first half, led by 1 at the break. Yale came back responding with a 4-1 third quarter, but it's been mostly Wildcats in the fourth. A 3-1 advantage to tie things up at 9 apiece with 28 seconds to go.
It's been a very good early season lacrosse game. It's been a pleasure to watch both these teams compete. Just both teams have a lot of respect for both programs. The coaches do as well. You can see that in the way that they're playing here today.
Excuse me, the offsides was not given to the Wildcats. So it's Yale with the ball now. Ben Reeves controls.
So it's just even here.
And we're all evened up.
Must have picked it up.
Couldn't hear the referees down there on the sideline here at the Ford Center. So 12 seconds to go. Here comes Ben Reeves. Reeves shot high. Backed up now with about 5.
Watch Reeves have to stop moving. He's going to go get the ball again.
One more run for the All-American.
Not a single bit of hesitation. He said, no, I'm going to go grab this ball again,
He's got 7 points so far. Reeves looking for one.
Oh, it's on the outside.
On the side.
It's on the outside.
Gaudette couldn't find an angle, and we've got overtime in Texas.
Gaudette just putting that extra little twister on that little last shot there. A matter of inches separating this game from going into overtime and being over. Another great look by Ben Reeves firing off the end line. And we have a little bit of extra lacrosse here today, Saturday in Texas.
Back-to-back overtime games for Villanova. They won less than a minute in against Penn State a couple of weeks ago. Let's see if they can make history repeat itself here today against number 5 Yale. Really good opportunities for both sides here.
Both sides.
See a couple of the captains meeting at midfield here. Ben Reeves and John Clue. We'll go over the overtime rules. Sudden death overtime here. First one to score wins. They'll do 4-minute overtime periods until somebody scores. And Davey, the face-off battle is always so important to start these overtime periods. Connor Mackey for Yale was really good early, but since the start, when they've gone to Dan Fisher here for Villanova, the freshman from St. Joe's Prep, he's been really good. He's won 8 of 12. Mackey, who started the game and somewhere around 10 of the first 16, hasn't won a face-off in a while. He's now 10 for 21, under 50%. That move to go to Fisher, it seemed to work out pretty well for Villanova.
I think so, and I would stay with it. You know, these face-offs are always very interesting in overtime. It seems to be either a face-off man will win it forward and go down coast to coast and try to score, or they get in their zone and call a timeout for the team to talk it over. But either way, this first possession and this winner of the face-off is huge for the momentum of this game for both Yale and Villanova.
So here we go. We've got Mackey and Fisher down at the face-off X. The start of overtime between number 5 Yale and number 15 Villanova.
Gonna be a ground ball here.
Ground ball battle. Tyler Warner couldn't pick it up for Yale. Rybilski there for Villanova. And so if the Wildcats can control it here as Webster bounces one, an opportunity to get the first chance. Deep breaths, Davey, deep breath.
A little hectic down there for Villanova on the clear, making me a little bit nervous, but they got it.
Canizio touches in and sets up the offensive opportunity here for the Wildcats. Looking for their second straight top 15 upset to start the year. The freshman, Keegan Kahn.
He's gonna look to turn.
Gets in the middle, shot didn't get through.
Rebound.
Cuccinello couldn't get it home on the rebound, and we
down.
have a flag. I believe that is Keegan Kahn down on the turf.
Similar to what we talked about earlier, when these offensive players are going hard to get a shot off and they go to shoot and their bodies are so exposed and they're so focused on that shot that a defender has the ability to sort of line them up, unfortunately.
Good to see Kahn sitting up here. I think he took a pretty good shot coming across the middle. Yet Chris Fake on the penalty, the first-year guy from the Hunt School of Princeton. And so a 1-minute man-up opportunity here for Villanova,
you know,
early in overtime.
For me as an offensive player, and I know when that happens and a defender of yours causes that penalty, it's very frustrating because, you know, it's not really necessary, and you're giving Villanova such an advantage here to score and win this game.
You take a look at that. Fake came in up top. Kahn took a good shot, but it equals a man-up opportunity.
Got to be disciplined.
A chance for Villanova to try to win this thing. Seibel, Cuccinello, all getting touches. McNamara around the horn. The freshman Crowley.
Seems like a straight 3-3 here. No movement yet, just trying to pick and choose. We're gonna try to get
Down
a sneak
low
from
here
X.
to Cuccinello. Still kept out so far. About 20 seconds left on this man up.
Seabell wants that shot.
Feeds down low. The senior and Cuccinello, no space. Under 10 seconds on the man up. Seibel, and the penalty's released. So we're back to 6-on-6 lacrosse. Villanova, no shots on the man up opportunity. Cuccinello shot saved by Starr. The first-year goalie with the biggest save of his young career.
Big time kill by Yale's defense right there.
And here comes Tyler Warner bringing it over the midfield stripe.
Villanova sort of sat in their 3-3, didn't get too much movement, and allowed Yale to stay in their rotation and kill off that penalty. Big time save by the young star. Now Yale has a chance of their own on offense.
Less than a minute 30 in this first overtime session, tied at 9 between Villanova and Yale.
See Coach Shea letting him play, no timeout yet.
Reeves to tie.
Most likely trying to find number 2 in white.
Jason Alessi dodges toward the top of the box, gets rid of it. Now back to the All-American Reeves.
Got a big little here from X.
Here comes Sessa. Really content to take a really good shot.
Yep.
Here's the guy you want if you're Yale. Reeves fires and just found the side of the net. And Testa able to scoop it up. 40 seconds to go in this first overtime session.
I don't know if this crowd can handle any more shots on the outside of the net. They're getting excited. Little transition here. See if Villanova chooses to do.
Camizio, the defensive midfielder, feeds.
Boom.
Seibel wins it! Villanova!
What a game.
Its second straight upset of the season. The Wildcats take down number 5 Yale.
Right to the star to celebrate.
What a way to finish off the Patriot Cup here at the Ford Center.
Really, really exciting game overall. That goal there, just Villanova bringing the ball over the midline. Yale didn't quite check up on their numbers. They were able to find Camizio, the short stick D-midi for Villanova, who was able to draw a guy, find an open Seaball in the middle, and he handles the rest. Low to low, wins the game there for Villanova. Goes right up to the middle of the star, celebrate with his teammates.
And so 2 games for Villanova this season.
Quite a start to the season.
2 wins over top 12 teams, 2 overtime games. If you're a Villanova fan right now, you may need some heart medication,
right.
But what a start to February for this Wildcats program.
No, you're loving it if you're Villanova. You know, you're just taking it one game at a time, and sometimes, you know, seasons like this just sort of come out of nowhere and you're winning these close games. And, you know, it's amazing the narrative that changes when teams that are really expected to do a lot coming into a season, they have tight games. It's like, uh-oh, what's wrong with them? And then maybe teams that weren't ranked and are exceeding so far are give a lot of credit. But Villanova really does deserve a lot of credit. 2 outstanding games today as well to win over the Yale Bulldogs.
The game winner, Seibel's 4th of the game. A huge game for the senior from Wakefield, Massachusetts. As the teams will touch things up. And really a terrific game all around, despite in a losing effort. Ben Reeves, in his first game of his senior season for Yale, 4 goals and 3 assists, a 7-point performance that should not go unnoticed in this one.
No, it definitely shouldn't. He's impressive by every sense of the word, and you know, even we saw in the overtime. Lines up with the ball, takes a shot, misses, literally does not stop running, goes and picks up the ball and goes again. That shows you the confidence that this team has in him and the coaches have in him, and well-deserved. He is going to be a force this entire season. That name is not going anywhere.
A couple of really good chances for the Bulldogs. Late in regulation, you had Gaudette from Reeves that found the side of the cage. You had Reeves again that found the side of the cage at the during that overtime session. Some inches
That's
that,
right.
that change a game.
One bounce of the ball, a couple inches here and there can really make the difference. But like I said earlier, both of these teams are going to benefit from having a game like this so early in the season, having those high pressure moments in the fourth quarter. These two goalies, young goalies, got a lot of experience today.
So Villanova starting the season 2-0. Yale drops to 0-1. Waiting for the trophy presentation as the teams get set down there, and it looks like we were going to get Danny Seibel on the headset down there, the OT hero. And I think we have him on. Danny, 2 overtime games and 2 games so far this season, a couple of upset wins. What's this feel like?
You know, it's I can't explain the feeling. It's great, especially coming down here in this environment and having such a great game for such a great event. I thank Yale for coming down here. Awesome opponent. You know, we don't come into games thinking that we're the underdog. We think every has as good of a chance as they do. And I'm glad we came out on top. Great work all around, offense, defense, face-off guys, goaltending. Whole team, complete effort. It was awesome to see.
See, but for you, it seems like you guys have a great connection. You and Cusinello there on attack. Just talk about sort of your relationship with him, how his eyes are sort of always up, and you're finding the right spots to catch and get these really nice shots off.
Yeah, I mean, Christian's my best friend here at school. You know, we came together in as freshmen, played together throughout our career here. It's awesome. I don't have to dodge. He has to carry the brunt of the work. He's carrying the ball, dodging, shooting, scoring, passing. So I just have to try to get open. My teammates do the work, and I just hope that I can finish it off for them.
Danny, so much of this game was played in the 6-on-6. It seems almost wrong that it finished in an unsettled situation. Walk us through what you saw down the stretch there, and you found an opening there for the game winner.
Yeah, so we were clearing the ball with our short stick D middies. Chris Donovan came over the midfield line, great job clearing it. You saw TJ Camizio coming down my wing. I cut through a vacate for him, opened up, didn't want to bring the pull to him. I kind of just faded towards the middle of the field. We connected eyes, and I was like, I think he's going to throw it in here to me. He threw it in, I found myself open, and I just shot it. We were shooting low all game, trying to beat the goalie low. I think that was my 3rd goal low of the game.
Danny, last thing from me, how about Nick Testa today in goal for you guys?
He was unbelievable. You know, he was really hard on himself this week in practice, getting ready. I know me and him worked a lot after practice. He was really trying to get ready for that lefty shot from Ben Reeves. So we worked a lot. He worked his butt off this week in practice, and it clearly showed today in the game. He played unbelievable.
Hey, Danny, big game from him. Great game for you. Congratulations on this win. Safe travels back to Philly.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Danny Seibel, 4 goals in this one. An impressive win for Villanova here in the Patriot Cup. Once again, your final score here from Frisco, Texas. Villanova 10, Yale 9 in overtime. Thanks for watching this presentation of college lacrosse here on LSN. For Davey Emela and our entire crew, I'm Travis Eldridge. Right now, for more on this game and all today's coverage on a busy Saturday in college lacrosse, we send it back to the LSN Broadcast Center for the Lacrosse Now post-game show.